complete. It all looks up in the air right now, but can Virtus.pro come back and level the series, or are Vici marching into the grand final? Let's find out with your commentary team of Trent and ODPixel.
Thank you, Red Eye, and yes, this game 2 looking to be another very exciting one between these two teams who have been bringing us the highest caliber of Dota 2 on this main stage so far here at ESL 1 Hamburg. This game 2, seeing some switch-ups. We're seeing no one this time is going to approach the game with the Storm Spirit, as the panel talks about. There's the potential for this to be a pretty nice Storm game.
Yeah, they talking about these options, like what's left in the pool, like how can they try and stop this guy, but it feels like VG almost kind of ignoring that in one sense, where they're just trying to like focus on their own game plan, going in towards this Pugna for Yang, and it's going to be Ori playing that Tiny, so thought he was very active in the previous game on the Dragon Knight. This guy made a lot of his fame playing heroes like Puck and Overworld Devourer, where he was very good at just like getting a bunch of kills early on in the game, so see if he can kind of play a Puck-esque Tiny, getting across this map, putting in some work and trying to give no one as terrible a time as possible.
And we'll see what sort of pace the sort of Vici game is going to be able to play against, because we have already seen today how good sort of Pugna lineups can be against the Terraplay. If they can just start to get the ball rolling incredibly fast, get Paparazzi a quick diffusal blade, it's pretty scary if they can really start pushing before this Terrablade and Storm are online.
Oh my goodness, that was a lot of tips right off the bat there, aiming towards Nolan. I don't know.
Both teams riling up each other for this game 2 between VP and Vici Gaming, as it's all on the line here. Neither team wanting to be knocked down to that lower half of this main stage, having to go against some of these scary teams in that lower bracket, which are hungry to knock people out of the way. Of course, we'll see that later with Secret versus Pain, but for now, VP versus Vici Gaming. Ramses.
Yeah, these are some terrifying offlane combos, honestly. Pugna and Winter Wyvern, just so much harassment over and over from range, hard to deal with. And then the bottom lane, though, for Virtus.pro, it's going to be Axe and the Phoenix. Similar in terms of like damage over time, very frustrating to have to handle.
And especially as well, you sort of commented in game 1 how nice it was to sort of see Fade and Yang play the lane that they did together. Yeah. They're going to be doing it again this game. Obviously different heroes, but still definitely with the same amount of potential.
Yeah. And what just happened there is that, and the reason they just lost all their HP is because they're trying to scout who's in this lane up top here. That's why they're like wrapping around these trees and looking everywhere to see exactly where is this Terrorblade starting, make sure we get the matchups that we want. And in the end, that means that they'll be trying to trade even, but I think Virtus.pro are about to get 3-1.
They are indeed. They get the 1 up top, they get 2 down at bottom. So VP up with a 3-1 advantage on the bounty situation. And of course, talking about scary dual lanes, bottom lane for VP, certainly another one of them. Pasha on the Axe and being backed up by the Phoenix, sort of at all stages of the game in terms of the pressure, the rundown, the chase, damage over time that Pasha and Roger are going to have in lane to sort of those fights later down the line. The Axe Call and the Supernova can be an incredibly strong combination in these team fights, especially through like BKBs and such. It doesn't matter. You've still got that sort of chain disable, that way to make sure that Vici Gaming can't take down the egg.
Yeah, it's going to be some pretty clutch plays from Paparazzi. You're going to be using that doppelganger, and that's an ability that you think of in this lane. You're like, oh, sweet, he's like a natural dispel. That sounds kind of good, right? Same idea versus a Bat Rider, but the cooldowns are very long in those earlier levels too, so the harassment is going to be quite real if you want to put it on top of them, and they're already starting now with the Battle Hunger.
It really is just a question of which safe lane is going to struggle the most against the respective dual lanes.
Solo, he just tanks one there, but look at the power of this Dazzle in lane, forcing Yang to move over there and ends up missing a last hit because of it.
And Solo, we did see last game, despite the loss, a lot of very clutch saves and protects from him on the Oracle. Can absolutely expect to see that again this game, just sort of setting up buying time for Ramses to get Sunders off in the midst of the action with a good shallow grave, giving him that few extra seconds of safety.
Yeah, and an even better hero in the laning phase this time, playing that Dazzle, just able to harass quite a bit more. Oracle's nice for kill threat and maybe having that burst to instantly take someone down, but Dazzle is just relentless over time.
Absolutely. We sort of, we talked about it last week. We said, Oracle's nice to see. We don't see it a lot, Dazzle. We certainly do know that a few things like play, and indeed the aggression, the power in the lane he can play with. He's diving behind tier 1 towers.
That was a good decrypt though.
Does keep him safe. His Yang will be fine. They'll still chase down Solo. He has got the TP up and available in a couple of seconds, so he could look to just heal and TP out. There's nothing to cancel it. So Solo just pushing this Dazzle to the limits and being incredibly aggressive, keeping this Pugna and Wyvern on their toes.
Yeah, and that was during a lot of the downtime of the Metamorphosis too. So he's just like giving Ramses a better lane naturally by doing that, and they put a little bit more throw in the end. Almost able to get him. And this lane is just being dominated right now by VP. Just a couple quick maneuvers there, trading regions so favorably, especially when it all started so bad for them too, when they were down like a quarter HP each on these VG heroes just to scout.
Bottom lane. Battle hunger onto DY, dive forward as well. They've got the damage over time, ticking him down as DY will try and turn, but can't do anything in return to that. And Pasha comes in, a swipe of the axe, brings down the Bane and secures VP first blood down bottom.
That really just goes to show like how important all this play from Solo is, because you think about these earlier levels for a Terribly and dealing with this constant magic burst and harassment. It's terrifying when you look at it. The Splinter Blast and then the Nether Blast, but Solo just driving the back like that secures first blood for the other lane instead, because they needed more levels down there to get the kill.
The lane is just sort of across the map, just looking to be in a much sort of more solid situation compared to game one, where it was a little rockier for VP. Especially this mid lane as well. No one against Ori on the Tiny. 17 for 3 against 16 for 4. You know, the fact that he's even, this is going to be great news for Noah, right? Because a lot of the times, Tiny, he can really get ahead and denies. That's not the case at the moment in this matchup, as no one is doing very good in this Storm versus Tiny situation.
Yeah, no one played very well last match too, using that forward spear constantly to get the double denies too. So having a good time, but Ori still showing off that Tiny is indeed king for the deniers of the range creep.
Over the dive down bottom again, DY in trouble. Pasha moving in, getting himself on top of DY. They'll take off the nightmare of one another, so Roger can continue to punch in. As VP again down bottom. I mean, we have to bear in mind we did see this at the same time. Oh, mid lane, no one. It's fine, Ori, nothing else to throw out. We'll just get dove a little bit. Ori will find a haste ring. That's going to refuel his bottle. That really could put the chance for him to get straight back in, and indeed he does. He has the combo back online with the haste, the bottle charges he's in, tosses him back, gets him into a better position underneath the tower. Just needs a few punches. We'll see if he has enough. He's going to have to toss back up in a few seconds. Still time on the haste rune. If he wants to dive in for this, he will do so. Go in with the toss as that haste rune securing Ori the kill in this 1v1.
A little patient there. Nothing you can really do as no one, of course, before you're level 6. So love the way he used the tower too. Just going to go for the straight combo. As it looks like Fade should be all right here.
He's got a TP out. Yeah, it's going to be the new focus as Ramses goes in. That Metamorphosis damage will do the job. I mean, I have to say, the way that Solo's been sort of playing and setting up against us, as I thought, this dual lane that had potential to be very scary. It's a lot of burst between sort of the blast and the splinter, the splinter blast, the Pugna blast, the setup with the decrepit fight. It's a lot of magical damage, but Solo with the sustain the heal, he's keeping himself alive. Ori just coming for a freebie as he finds Solo hanging around a little bit of a low HP. Ori leaving the lane to get that kill. Same time, as you can see, no one has also left the lane, cleaning up some neutrals, playing it safe away from the mid, as he'll just look to probably remnant up and get that level 6 online before going back, so he's got that extra safety measure to keep himself away from any potential ganks coming in.
Yeah, and this is a moment where for some teams Roger might go mid on the Phoenix and try and absorb some of this, right, where he can play a little bit safer, maybe not be as worried about the Tiny, but instead he's coming down bottom. He wants to keep interrupting these pulls. They want to try and put this pressure on top of Paparazzi.
Lane. I mean, Yang and Fate, they're trying to play aggressive against these two, but it's not really working out as Yang loses his life. Fade's getting forced back as well.
They're too far behind.
Yeah, the blasts at this stage, they just don't scale well enough against the burst heal that Solo offers each and every time.
Well, they just got absolutely destroyed at level 1 and level 2. And so there's a distinct advantage at this point. It's level 5 TB.
On the jungle, Ori will be there to chase down Roger.
Very slowly.
Slowly. Oh, there's a tree. There we go. Takes him down. But this is a lot of time that Ori's sort of walking around and about whilst there's a lot of farm being built up on no one's Storm Spirit. As you can see a real difference now in CS. There's no one, sure there's going to be the kills there, but you can imagine overall the fact that no one's just able to farm that little bit more.
He's gotten quite a few kills though at this point. Yeah, look, almost like a 1K net worth advantage just because of how much Ori is roaming and of course putting some threat on the other lanes too, but once again it's DY, possibly going down for a third time here if they can catch him.
Paparazzi's going to come over and try and help. Roger has already used the dive, quick brain sap and a Spirit Lance allows Paparazzi to close the gap. He's trying his best to take down Roger and will do so. The Fire Spirit attack speed reduction not enough to stop him from getting that kill. 1-for-1 at the moment. Pasha able to clean up the creep wave coming in as he picks it up. He's got those spins going. Level 5 on the axe, and with this creep wave should be level 6. So that extra dunk potential to bring sort of Pasha and DY out of the game is now there on this bottom lane. So the bottom lane getting that little bit scarier.
This Pugna just does not have a game at the moment though. And this is here that you're trying to get like snowballing and actually pushing towers, especially out of the off lane.
Yeah.
When you get into these situations, it gets really awkward.
And it really is just such a different situation. Last game, we saw Yang, he absolutely owned the top lane on the Necrophos. He was such this big brute that was pretty much at the top of the network for the whole game. That's not going to happen this time around unless Vici Gaming can sort of really switch up the pace, start banding together and pushing down towers.
Bottom. They try and do a toss play, I'm guessing, but they don't have the vision there to Potch as he goes through the tree line. And I think Ori needs to make the rotation top because they need to try and force the TP.
They need help. A solo is being gone on again. He's got the shallow grave. He just needs to get himself far enough away from the Pugner, and he will be able to do so as no one zips forward. Yang's got the Decrepify, buying some time for it, but no one bottles up, zips up to the high ground. They'll take down Yang. And Solo is going in. He is. They've got Solo and no one, and Ramsey's in on top of him. Cold Embrace.
Oh, they're doing the surround.
And the Shrine will have him a little bit, but the heal bomb set up perfectly will secure another. As this top, it really is an absolute disaster for Vici Gaming.
God, this dazzled hero. I mean, we've kind of been waiting. We've seen some teams utilizing it, but Solo, this is like the full extent here. It syncs up so well for the TP. DY not going to be able to close in time there for Pasha, but during all of this, Paparazzi's just getting a lot more freedom in the lane at the very least.
That is certainly true, but we're seeing how much Ramses is able to get involved in the kills, whereas on this bottom lane, Pasha with a Vanguard, he's not an easy target. And again, we see Ori come down here with the Invis, but I think you're right, he needs to... They need to look towards that top lane, as it's an absolute mess. Ori is unlikely to be able to set something up onto an Axe with a Vanguard at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you can at least try and force this TV to the jungle, that would be such a huge victory for them. Because Ramses, he'll look at that and say, okay, I can still get like faster net worth, moving through the jungle, it's going to be okay. But at least then your Pugna's going to have a chance to try and whittle down these towers. So for now, we'll just continue his trail to the fountain.
CP comes in from DY as an attempt is made onto Yang. He'll hold back Ramses with the Nightmare. Tries to get a few punches in onto Solo. Has to be here just to keep his off-laner alive. Still in this mid, sure with Ori's movements, he's been able to find these kills to keep himself with a net worth advantage in comparison to no one, but no one's, he is getting total free farm with the Storm, in the sense that, as you said, we might have seen someone go to the mid lane when Ori left. That's not really been the case for the most part. No one's just been giving a lot of space on his Storm.
Jeez, so these two heroes here just playing so aggressive, pushing the absolute limit here with the raindrops, also as a fairy fire just in case.
And again, DY has to be defensively decrepified by Yang. Bottom lane, as soon as Pasha feels under any sort of pressure, he TPs straight out of there.
They might want to think about waiting for this push. No, they're going to go for the meta.
I mean, meta's up. Yang, he's got one more decrepify, goes for the decrep TP. That will keep him safe.
He cancels, he needs to stay. They want to push back on this tower. They're too low right now.
That might cost him his life. I mean, you see Ramses, he's ready to just dive underneath the tower and try and find the kill.
He's trying to bait this
He's got a couple of times, and he gets the kill onto Yang. Yang cancelling that TP. It costs him his life.
Oh, nice nightmare there from DY.
Same time in the middle lane, no one and Ori, both very low. But this top lane, Yang just dying again. More money for Ramses with this meta, not only getting the kill, but able to get a good amount of damage onto this tier 1 tower. This Terrorblade and Dazzle duo lane looking as strong as ever.
Yeah, I think his logic was that they might not push without this the egg being available for Roger, but they just don't care. I mean, they're going to use this meta. This is a level 9 Terrorblade.
And I said, we keep iterating, they've done this against a Pugna Wyvern lane. This is a lane that's meant to push you away from their own tier 1 tower, and it's just had no pressure and presence at all because of Solo being there on the Dazzle. And the way he played with the aggression, sort of just stemming the ability for them to get in and actually find opportunities to burst Ramses down, has made it so hard, because now those two heroes, they've got to play from behind, and a Pugna never wants to do that.
And you've got, like, it's level 9 Paparazzi too. Sure, he's also having a great game. He's almost cracking it at 10, but the difference is your Axe is level 8 and your Pugna's level 5. Like, that's where that massive gap is occurring in this game.
He's got a Vanguard and a Blink. 11 minutes in. Pasha is ready to make the plays.
This is going to start to look a lot like last game, I feel like, where they're going to try and use an aggressive TV from Ramses. I don't even want to see him in the jungle that much, honestly. I want to see him continue to push structures the next time meta's back up. And this has become a common sentence for these Wyverns. They just get sent to try and hold these absolute disasters of a tower, but he's already used the Arctic Burn. Fate is stuck in the trees. There's a chance he can use a curse in another 30 seconds or so, but I'm not sure he's going anywhere, unless he wants to TP out. Alright, there's thoughts here maybe of like a smoke play if they want to try and hunt down Ramses. Maybe they could try and get some vision during this nighttime. And okay, they're going to smoke with the Bane.
Oh, no one is able to hold back Yang. Yang tries to grab a TP out, but there's the point in the Vortex.
This is a level 5 Bane. He's so close to 6. He's 28 experience, and you're smoking up right now.
Oh, man.
They're going to kill this camp.
Okay.
They're just doing that to get them 6.
And this is good. Getting sort of the 6 whilst he's smoked, that could catch VP by surprise. They may not expect this. There's no one.
This is a good bait.
He'll go forward onto Paparazzi. Can they get the grip off? They can. DY straight in. There's the grip. There's the setup, and that's the kill.
Very nice.
Very, very calculated play from Vici Gaming, as we saw there. Getting that 6 from the smoke, from the creeps, and coming out and surprising no one. He didn't expect the Fiend's Grid to be online.
No, exactly. But what's happening mid? TB's pushing in. Pasha jumps.
So got the Supernova down as well. Ori trying to get himself away from this, but Pash is blocking him off, keeping him ready for the Supernova. The Winter's Curse does come down as the illusions start beating into Ramses, and that will cause the end of Ramses' life. The Winter's Curse gets the kill. Can VP find anything else in return? Yang tries to go for the life drain, but has to back up immediately as the Spirits get sent out by Roger. Jump forward from Pasha, done. Gets himself the kill onto the Bane, or he goes round, turns around with a combo, but they're still chasing, forcing back this mid-tiny as Solo's got the sustain, healing up the Axe. The Decrepify Blast is going to be off the mark because Pash is absolutely fine. Big kill in the sense that they got that Terrorblade.
And no one's just instantly nuking the wave, trying to push it in. They want to hold this position, secure this tower right now before they can get back with another curse.
Now, they may have lost the Terrorblade, but they still get the push done successfully. Another tower taken, and VP keeping this stronghold and lead that they've got so far in the game. As you can see, Pasha sitting at the top of the net worth. He played, you know, both side lanes just seem to go fantastic for VP. Short in the bottom lane, the farm was still there for the PL, but Pasha, as we keep mentioning, he did not get punished at all.
Yeah.
And now Yang, he's in trouble once again.
This is Yang's game in comparison to
just
Pasha.
being chased around.
Yeah.
He's not got the levels, he's not got the items to deal with this, as he'll try and just make them waste as much time as possible. He goes for a TP, but Pasha, he has the call, holds him back. Another kill for Pasha, now dominating on the Axe. Toss forward, jump forward, Ori looking for the burst onto Solo, but Solo's fine. He's got the heal and the counter plays there for no one. Zipping across, Pasha TP's in. Will be held back by the Nightmare, but the Nightmare removed. Pasha, they'll have to link up in a second. No, he won't. Curse holds him back. No one still trying to go in. He's going to get comboed up, but Ramses comes in with a wraparound. Fade tries to keep himself alive with the Golden Bridge, but the remnant damage is enough. No one gets the double kill. As they've lost 2, they're going to lose DY as well as no one. Zips forward, trying to get that after-shot passage onto him. DY wrapped around. There's the dunk. They'll finish off the third. As VP, they weren't happy with game 1, of course, and they are striking back in absolute style.
Smelled of desperation there from VG Gaming, diving a bit too deep, trying to get a kill with their tiny, and they lose 3 and the courier.
I don't know, can he do this? Ooh. I mean, he's going to die for it, surely. And Solo's there, Battle Hunger as well. For Pat, the Cold Embrace. Pasha's still full health. He wants to go in and finish off this kill. Paparazzi gets a double kill. Paparazzi will survive. And now with the TP's in, they can punish Pasha for the greed. 4 heroes beating down onto the Axe. They can put an end to Pasha's reign. Get themselves that big amount of gold. You see Paparazzi, he started to charge in, but then he was like, I've got to be careful of the spin and a dump. But they keep the distance, or he makes the counter play to get a double kill for the Tiny.
That was the first time Yang's been flying high in this game. That is for sure. Will help secure that kill, but that was maybe an overextension based off all that vision they've got kind of all across that radiant. So like, oh, that PL, he looks so juicy, right? All these wards scouting out for Virtus.pro, but excellent response from the team, basically countering everything they just lost in the mid. But it's still 7k lead right now for the Dire side. All 3 cores top of the chart.
And Lenori jumps forward, toss back there onto the Phoenix, and the dive won't save it. Ori making these plays happen. Absolutely has to do so to keep the game going and make sure there's space elsewhere on the map for Paparazzi to keep farming on his PL. Paparazzi does still stand toe-to-toe with the farm of Ramses Terrorblade. He's keeping level, and that Diffusal Blade ever so close. As he's got it, in fact. Just needs to make the trip back to base as the courier's still dead for a minute. And we see here again, this first initial play from Vici getting punished as no one fights back. And you can see at the moment the way that no one focuses target to target as he looks towards Ori. He's fully focused on just getting that Tiny out. As he knows that's the big punch, the big nuke threat that they have. And then it's just a cleanup for VP.
Yeah, I love that eye tracking. Interesting to see how everyone's targeting their, the Weehawk Tinker one was definitely the best one. Seeing all the thought into it, but again, Pasha, they're moving forward. Backed up by Roger, still has that egg. They're hoping that someone's going to come nearby, but the entirety of Vici Gaming is shrining up here. Looks like they might even be prepping for a smoke, but I don't see any on them, so they're just playing defensively, perhaps knowing that they're under pressure from Virtus.pro, thinking about coming into their area, and I'm going to force out a glyph. But they glyph, yet no one responds. So Ramsey's just going to get a free tower in the bottom lane. They're just holding this middle, just cutting off everyone of Vici Gaming from coming to this side of the map.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
They have no response here. They're just stuck on their own high ground. The VP are just controlling everything. They finally get their courier back. They need this defusal blade. They got to get into an actual fight with this PL. There's really nothing else you can do in this game. They have to find another incredible curse. I mean, that's one of the only reasons they won that initial team fight.
The curse on Ramses.
But at this point, there's way more levels in the grave. That was a level 1 grave, and now the range has increased by 300 for solo. So he didn't have a good chance in the previous one. This time that'll be different.
As VP smoked up the low ground.
Radiant can smoke up as well.
Who's going to get the surprise jump on who?
You gotta imagine that there's a pretty big edge. Oh, Virtus.pro, we don't have no one yet though. He isn't joined.
Oh, he jumps in, but Pash is there with the counter, gets the two-man call. The Thunder as well, bringing Ori straight down to the third combination. The Supernova successful as well as they clean up too. No one sits straight towards the third target with a vortex, holds back the Winter Wyvern. As VP, they're not done yet. They're trying to see if they can chase down Yang. No one. He has used the majority of his mana, so Yang looks like he will be able to walk away, but again, that smoke up into the high ground, it was always going to be risky. Yeah. You see Ori see an opportunity to jump in as the Tiny, but it's so hard to do against this Axe, against this Dazzle. There's always going to be some sort of reaction, some sort of a save, unless VP are going out one by one. And as we're seeing so far, VP are doing a fantastic job of just keeping together as a team.
The communication looks so solid from Virtus.pro. I mean, everyone is playing very tight, knocking out of position. You saw the second they came out of that smoke on Vici Gaming side, no one TP'd instantaneously up to the shrine and helped secure a couple additional kills there. And all of that forward vision, again, that's what helps secure that entire last 4 minutes for Virtus.pro, because they can read the map, they can see where Vici Gaming are playing. They knew they only had a couple spots where they can actually play, so what do? They park Ramses over there, because if you're getting back in this game for Vici Gaming, you need to pick off Ramses. So let's just surround them with our heroes and just lay the trap.
So we'll see that once more.
And instantaneously, just TPs.
Yeah. And again, the focus here for Noah. Spots his target, immediately on top of him, as you see, quickly checks the map, sees Yang on the retreat, does try and make the ball over to it, but Yang is too far away. At least Yang survives, but still a 10k lead now for Virtus.pro against this Pugna lineup that you could tell from the draft, from the off, that Vici Gaming, they were not intending for that top lane to go as bad as it did.
Yeah, and Yang's into the almost desperation plays at this point, honestly. Coming up here to trying to throw a couple nether blasts on the tower. This is not your typical tier 1 tower versus a Pugna. Still over half HP, 20 minutes into the game. Yeah, this is around bounty rune time, so Pasha wants to make a play bottom, he's going for it.
He's got the call on for PL, Cotton Brace will be there. Paparazzi was able to pick up the bouncy rune before Pasha got in.
That's still only going to be 1 for them, and 3 more to Virtus.pro. We've seen a couple times now, they're prioritizing these runes. They understand either to try and get a lead back from their opponents or keep their own flowing forward. Look at that gold gain from Virtus.pro this match. Average time till pickup. That's a pretty cool stat. In fact, the fact that it's like an average time is lower for Virtus.pro basically means that they're controlling the enemy one and then go back for their own, you know, rather than camping on it.
No one sees an opportunity, sees a target. Yang gets the Decrepify out, saving him from some of the overload procs, but there's the Fierce Grid. DY trying to go with the counter play with the Supernova down in the midst of it all. Can they focus down the egg in time? They're trying to kill the egg, but they've got it. They'll get the egg taken down. The Winter's Curse holds back Ramses for now, but they've already lost 2 heroes on Vici Gaming and more now as Pasha gets the call. The Dog takes the Wyvern out. It's VP again, just ruling these team fights. And that was the Winter's Curse, one of the big things that we mentioned. They need to rely on to have any sort of chance of controlling and killing this Terrorblade. It's not enough. As this tier 2 tower is going down, 21 minutes in, VP continuing to amp up the pressure, and it still feels a while away from Paparazzi, Vici Gaming's carry, being anywhere close to being scary in these fights.
And what's terrifying is that no one has gone for essentially the win more item in the Bloodstone. Like this is, he didn't have to invest. He got Akaya and he was still a part of all of these fights. And now he has this Bloodstone. So he's going to be farming so quickly across the map. If he dies, yes, it definitely hurts them, but it means he can get into an Orchid and a BKB much faster in this game.
Incredibly fast timing.
And you saw right there the power of this Phoenix. And you know, people are wondering, like, why is this Phoenix hero being picked so much? You know, it doesn't even have the best win rate across the tournament. I feel like it's one of the lower ones, actually, especially for those that are picked a lot. But when the good teams are playing it, you can see that even if you do stop that Supernova from going off, it doesn't matter. You'll see right here in this fight.
Which is going immediately in. focusing Yang. DY trying his best to turn things around, but as soon as that egg's out, sure they kill the egg, but the egg, it pretty much already did its damage. It sets up for the double kill. Fade sort of has to panic and just throw down the curse onto Ramses, but no one's next to him, so no one's hitting into him, and even if they were at this stage, Ramses, with that weave built up for Dazzle, very hard to take down. There's not really much that threatens him. There's straight away no one. Up towards top, looking to set up for more. The Decrepifies there on DY, allowing DY to back off. And Vici Gaming, they do have the full 5-man upper as well, so VP will respect that. We back off a little bit, but Ramses, of course, Manta style and BKB complete. He's pretty unkillable.
They want to keep going.
He knows, and he charges in. Supernova's down. They get themselves on top of the Wyvern. Wyvern does have a Winter's Curse available, but he's already dead. Doesn't get the chance to get it out, as they instantly lose both of their supports. No one still with a bit of mana left to chase down Yang. He's looking for the body block, setting up for Ramses and Pasha to come in. Yang tries for a blast, or he comes in with the avalanche, but he doesn't do anything at all. As they surround Yang, Talk from Pasha finishes off the kill. Paparazzi is trying to help out, but he's out of mana. They've slowed him down. They've chased down the PL. Paparazzi, can he get out of this? He's got a doppelganger. Ramses, Pasha, he's in! Triple kill from the Axe, Pasha!
There is a tier 2, in case you guys are wondering. It's still there.
He tries to find Ramses, does get the Terrorblade. So they get something for VP diving as deep as they were. Can VP get the rest of them out? Winter's Curse!
There's not enough damage though with the TV, the one hero.
No one's going to be fine. Can Ori, Fade, and DY actually find anything here from VP? I don't think they can, and if anything, they've got to be careful. Pasha can wait out the Arctic Burn and could look to jump back in, but they'll play careful, VP. They'll back away. They'll accept that. They did lose Ramses after all. They don't want to go too crazy.
We've seen a couple times in the eye tracking where he keeps checking the pull. He's just like, oh, I don't have stack pull, and I don't got my pull. I can't go for this. This time he's like, oh, I don't have a vortex. I'll just zip right past him and start body blocking. It's the best option that was left. I don't know about zipping into the tier 3s though. That was a little wild, but it's okay.
I mean, no one's going to be happy. I mean, still, as we saw,
I'm happy about it. That's fine.
Yeah, he had to die. He's stacking up the in terms of after he got the Bloodstone.
That's true.
Stacking up those charges up to 18, and on his way towards that Orchid. He's got the first Oblivion staff complete. Or he does have the Shadow Blade and the Blink, and for what it's worth now, Ori has still been able to find those jumps to sort of shake VP up a bit, sort of stop them from getting away with at least taking like the 4th or the 5th kill in the team fights. There's been some sort of punchback that Vici Gaming can present, but it's still the overall problem that Paparazzi's PL, it doesn't threaten any of VP's heroes at this moment in time. As Ramses, he's a good item ahead.
Yeah, it also doesn't really look like one of those games where like, okay, well if the heart comes out, then maybe it's going to be in trouble for them, you know? But it doesn't feel that way with this TV. He's so farmed this Storm Spirit, he can just leave you, and well, Storm Spirit again.
Have the sentry down. Ori is just out of range of it though, so will avoid that attempt for no one, and that will probably give away that the wards are there with that zip attempt that no one tried to go for onto Ori.
Yeah, he's not even going to risk cutting the wave too, just way too threatened here by no one, and that's going to put them right into the pit finally.
If they can get this Aegis on Storm.
And you have to imagine this was what they were waiting for. Like the reason why, despite being so far ahead, Virtus.pro are now waiting until now to go for the Roach, because this Winter Wyvern could theoretically have a chance to turn around the game. But Ramsey's constantly checking his minimap, just in case anyone pops up there, but they're not going to be here in time.
Go Roshan for VP, Aegis for no one, and no one straight in the sentry. Just give him the vision of Ori. There's a nightmare to mess up the combo. Jumping from Pasha, gets the 2-man call. The Supernova out as well for the sidelines as the Winter Wyvern's gone. Ori's surrounded and Pasha. No one just playing around with this tide. He sets up for the dunk from Pasha to claim a third for this fight. There'll be a buyback for the Wyvern. He does have the curse available, but he can't get in. Ramses has got the BKB. Fade just had to get back out of there, up to the high ground. As no one, they protect that Aegis. The illusions are still beating him down, but he does fall. They've lost the Aegis at least.
Curse inside the base.
Ramses is pretty deep. There'll be a buyback from Yang. Quick Sunder gets him back up to full and forces Paparazzi to doppelganger away. They've at least taken away the Aegis, but it doesn't matter, no one. Even without that Aegis, he's ready to play aggressive as ever. Diving in, diving out, nothing that will really scare this Storm Spirit at this stage. He's got 20 Bloodstone charges.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
With a Pugna pick coming so late in this draft, you have to imagine that the game did not go according to plan if they've only taken one tier 1 tower at this point in the game. Feels like they ran into options there, and just it's been honestly quite horrific for Yang to have to play this. There's so much catch on the side, which is like the #1 thing you look for.
Oh no, poor old DY. You see that maybe all land matches this year, the 16th poorest at this point of the game. He's suffering.
Hey, well, you know, at least he's gone up since the start. So there is that, right? He's got a little bit of, he's got some boots.
He's got something.
And you can understand why, though. Look at all these sentries. He has a pop everywhere, and he still can't keep up with those that are being placed down by Virtus.pro.
Short pause here from Paparazzi, but 16k lead for VP here in this game too.
Oh, we've already talked about the way that you might find a way back in. It's winner's curse. And maybe some incredible plays from Paparazzi if you can just dodge out, but there's several different elements of control in this match here for Virtus.pro, and very difficult to dodge around all of those.
Really is. They just stepped at the play. The sort of approach to this game as well, VP, has been perfect. The no-one storm, I mean, the panel sort of did say it. They said this storm could have a very good time this game. Yep. And I mean, no one's having an excellent time. He's sort of taking that advantage, that power that the hero can have against this sort of draft. And he's just making it look sort of borderline broken with how aggressive he's able to play. We've seen it each and every time. He can use pretty much 3/4 of his mana pool to just zip to the back lines, as he knows there's no real threat. As long as they can sort of focus down Ori, make sure that Ori doesn't get that burst combo off to sort of bring him down low enough for the rest of the team to finish off, no one's going to have a great time every single team fight. Yeah,
if you were to look at purely the numbers in this match, like 4-2-11 on the Storm Spirit, or you look over this tiny 9-3-1, you might be thinking like, oh my god, Ori is like absolutely crushing this game, right? But honestly, that's because he has 9 out of the 12 kills. He's the only one that can really get stuff done at the moment, because he might have 9 kills, but his Pugna is 0-9-2. And he's essentially missing an entire core of this game, it feels like.
Of course, Pasha as well, this game just disgustingly rich. The way that he was able to farm that bottom lane with no sort of repercussions is keeping him so far ahead, sailing ahead of any sort of average net worth on an Axe that we can expect to see. As he is having a brilliant time. The boost of travel's done on top of the pipe. It's just 27 minutes in. This Axe is incredibly rich.
Ori does have the items for split pushing, and he's going to be spotted out here, but Pasha not going to be quite in time to catch him. But has a Shadow Blade, so you can continue to try and cut waves as much as you can. However, there is catch of both an Axe and a Storm Spirit, so it's going to be difficult. However, you have no other options. They're even going to go for the boots of travel now to try and counteract this onto Pasha.
So many ways to get Pasha into the fight and onto the front lines. As his call every time has set up for success. Ramses, DD Rune to help speed up this push, speed up a bit of farm as he's closing in on the goal for the Skadi.
It looks like they're trying to set up these plays like down in the bottom layer now. You can see he's putting a very deep observer sentry combo here from DY, and that's essentially saying like we want to try and catch this Storm Spirit or this Axe, try to push this lane in by themselves. And that's going to be their comeback mechanism, is trying to catch this Storm Spirit and destroy all his Bloodstone charges. But Storm's in.
We'll find him.
They really wanted to use that DD.
Sending a message.
The message has been sent and certainly received by Yang this match, I think.
And Metz is back up. Ramsey straight up to the high ground. What are you going to do if you're Vici gaming? They have to do something.
He's banging on the door, but no one's answering.
He jumps forward. Nightmare will run some time here for Yang, but there's the immediate zip in. They do have the Winter's Call, holding no one down as no one's getting beaten by Ramses. That's going to cause no one's death. He's dead for 10 seconds, of course. Does have those Bloodstone charges, so we'll be back pretty shortly. With the Storm Spirit taken away, that will put a bit of a slowdown to the push that VP were hoping to get away with that Metamorphosis. As we say, the Winter's Curse that's what you got to look out for. No one does have to be careful in a sense of zipping in, especially when he's still in range of his teammates, because the Winter's Curse, you can guarantee, is going to be safe for him every single time, because he is that scary core in terms of offensive output, that once you're able to hold him down and sort of have this Terrorblade beat into him, he will melt.
Yep, for sure. And he does commit for the Orchid. I don't know, I thought maybe he'd try and go back towards the Lincolns at that point, because he was still holding all the gold when he died, but he's saying, you know, that's fine, I will just Orchid onto the Wyvern and life will be good. But this is a Blink Aether Wyvern. Fade has a surprising amount of fire, but that's one reason why DY is so poor, so he's going to have the items get him.
He's got a haste rune, there is the Supernova available, Roger's able to dive away, keeps himself safe, and now no one zips straight in, looking towards Fade, Fade's got the corner break, but no one just gets himself on top, lays down a few remnants to find the kill.
And Ori's just forced to run away there.
Paparazzi. He's been found here. The shrine here, that's not going to be enough. As Pasha's got the control with the call, they've just lost their PL.
And their Pugna. They both just died up top.
That is 3 heroes dead for a full minute. None of them with buyback at the ready. At the least, you know, there isn't a Metamorphosis on Ramses at the moment. He's got to wait a minute. But even without it, we know that VP can push, they can certainly threaten, and I'm sure we'll certainly see them try to do something with this whole minute of action that they can look to abuse.
Yeah, they love these moments on Virtus.pro. I feel like they really shine when it's these skirmishes, right? Where they've got like 2 heroes attacking 2 heroes and 2v2 on the other side. Just such good communication across all members. Doesn't really feel like they have these set pairings or anything. No one just targeting there, using that brand new Orchid to silence the Bane while he kills the Wyvern because he knows there's no curse yet because he's keeping that timer down. Instantly destroyed. And Bane's forced to just TP away, and of course they're able to get Roger out too. No real concern. Just heads away to Supernova. So that'll probably delay things for Virtus.pro a little bit. 3 minutes until the next Roche.
Okay.
They're relaxing. Rams is looking very relaxed in that blue hair.
And they know that happened in game 2. Reason why there's more Dazzle picks nowadays than Oracle. In terms of the aggression
yourself, that's one of the best heroes up against this Axe when he's trying.
Ray, this game, of course, sitting
hesitate to win. You can find that moment, you know, if they don't lose right now.
Yeah.
There's a chance, especially if they have to go for that next Roche. But into the base we go, meta or not, VP are ready.
They know that these buybacks aren't up. They know that they can abuse. There's still 30 seconds or so. No meta, no worries. They're so far ahead, they can still punch through these racks without any sort of worry of Ori and DY being able to do anything against this type of siege at this point. As that will be the mid-melee racks claimed. The range racks as well do not stand much of a chance at all. It's just a question VP think they can find more, and they do. Ramses heads straight towards the top lane.
You really want to.
The siege creep pushing in. Zip forward is no one ready to find a pick. Gets himself on top of the Bane. Berserker's called from Passion, locks him down that little bit extra to set up for the kill. A buyback comes out straight away from DY, and they are about to have the full 5-man back up. But Ramses, he wants to find that second melee rack, take it away, and he's going to be able to do so. As they take more, that is the Winter's Curse already used as well, and it didn't really do anything.
Yeah,
they needed that to do something, and it didn't. And now no one, he's ready to go straight in, starts to zip and silence onto the Wyvern, and they're going to pull back onto the Bane. That's a dieback from DY. As VP claim 2 sets of racks and continue to absolutely rip apart Vici Gaming's lineup. As Ramsey's performance this game only continuing to barrel out of control. The farm that he's received, the way that that lane, as we keep going on about, was set up for him, thanks to Solo's play on the Dazzle, has just made this Terrorblade look absolutely incredible. As we have seen a fair few Terrorblade performances now, where this hero, in the right circumstances, it just looks nigh on unstoppable.
Yeah, it feels like it's just all about the heroes that surround him.
Yeah.
Looks like Soul's going to pick up his own set of drums. I guess that means Ramses can get rid of his. But he's still got a little bit of time before that'll happen. He's just closing up onto a Butterfly. Down on that Terrorblade, and we're just waiting for Roche. There's really not much else you need to do in this one. Just try and get a gem perhaps if they really want to control the entire vision area around the pit, but went for the drums instead on the Solo, so unlikely Roger's going to purchase one. And that's a 10-second BKB for Pasha. So another option, or another time, I guess, for Fade. Maybe he can do it this time. Last curse, not so good. Gem will actually be purchased up by Vici Gaming instead. Very good. They have to ensure that if they're going to catch this jump and scare Virtus.pro, catch them with their pants down, then it means that you can't have any vision on you guys. And there are just wards littering the radiant side of the map here. They got one in the base. They got some, which will be spotted there by Ori, as he's the one who's carrying the gem around.
VP, they can certainly play it safe and just wait for that rush.
Yeah, we'll see how long that's going to respawn here in just a moment.
No need to rush anything with the lead that they have. Nearly 30,000 advantage. 27k at 33 minutes in.
You fought badly.
This is the VP that we have seen so many times.
Oh, she's a long one. It's going to be 2 minutes until the rest respawns, so we'll see. That might signal VP to just go earlier, honestly. They're not the most patient of Dota teams. You guys might have noticed that before. So if they have their meta back up, their egg, if they just want to fully put a stranglehold in that bottom lane, I could see them going high ground a little earlier, just because I'm sure they're well aware how far ahead they are in terms of items.
I really just feel as well at this point, Vici Gaming may have to go for the high-risk plays, you know, sort of sitting in the base. That's not cut it. The last 2 times where VP have pushed in, the high ground defense just hasn't been that threatening at all from Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
They've got to do something proactive. They've got to try and catch out VP when they're not grouped together, and they're going to do exactly that. 5-man smokes up, Vici Gaming looking to make this sort of last-ditch attempt, this desperation play work.
the hero to do it is going to be Ori. He's the one with the gem, he's the one with the damage. Oh, but they're still ready for it.
They really are. Ramsey's just walked in from the high ground. The calls there from Pasha, catching out both the Bane and the Wyvern. Double dunk from Pasha, takes them both down. Yang, he's out of luck as well as they surround him. The Supernova stun kicks in. As GG's called, that was it. That was it from Vici Gaming. They have one last shot, and it was not going to work. As VP, this game too, looking to be back on form. And bringing this series to a game 3. And that game, I mean, we sort of saw it great, you know, for sure, great showing for Vici Gaming in game 1, but this game, this was, it just never looked good for Vici Gaming. There was no point in this match where it felt like, hang on, at least Vici Gaming's got this going for. Obviously, we try and talk up some bits, but in reality, was there ever going to be anything that Vici Gaming could get to work in that second match?
I mean, clearly they had some sort of idea in the draft, but it got lost very early there, and it felt like there was just no coming back from it. Would have been extremely difficult, would have taken some incredible plays by the Wyvern. They were close, but Pasha played so well. Solo on the Dazzle played incredible. I feel like game 1 ended, you know, they got off that stage, they saw that Mercedes there, and they thought, you know, if we don't win, we might not get nominated for that thing.
They've got to step it up. In terms
you got to win the tournament.
Pasha certainly made his case in that match. I mean,
he's looking for it this year.
He certainly is. He's one of the ones without it at the moment. And the way that he played that bottom lane, the way he sort of was able to continuously skip waves with the knowledge that nothing was going to be there to punish it, absolutely fantastic all across the map from VP. As VP take the series 1-1, pushing it towards that game 3 deciding match. Back to you guys on the panel.
We always like a game 3, don't we? We've got another one here. In our second game of the day, the upper bracket final does move to a 3-game series. It's 1-1 between Virtus.pro and Vici, and frankly, it didn't even look close, did it? From 2 minutes on, that's the closest Vici got in net worth to Virtus.pro. A very one-sided game, gents. Kyle, where do you want to start with this one?
Well, I mean, I take it from where Owen left off. I think Pasha just crushed. Like, that was his game. He's one of the few players on VP without him.